He was. You heard it drop. You actually hear it drop. No holds barred didn't go that far with it.
Yes, they did.
Not quite like this.
Yeah,
because that was the sound was a lot louder with no holds barred.
Go back and watch Bubba when they in the toilet pissing.
The sound effects are louder in no holds barred than they were in this.
Welcome to the Third Generation Wrestling Podcast with your hosts Eric and Rob.
Welcome in, everybody. Third Generation Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, the Real Big E, joined tonight by the host of the Countdown Podcast, MJ Book. What's going on? I know you're repping Michigan this weekend and last weekend as well. It's kind of I don't watch college, so I'm guessing this is rare air for what's going on with Mr. Harbaugh.
Oh, blue! It is good to be here. I'm in Iowa, and I am probably the only person in this state that is smiling from ear to ear. Down go the Iowa choke eyes. Other than that, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm man, damn kids wore me out today, but other than that, I'm doing all right.
That's what they do. That and take your money.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I don't really watch college. Fantasy football wise, I not the best weekend either.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes is a bum. He's pissing me off.
So yeah, it's been a weekend, I guess. A couple of days off from work, but still work around the house. So it is what it is. And then watching NXT take over this is the first WarGames from 2.0. So it was going to be interesting to see if this was going to be work as well, or this was going to be a breeze. I had my concerns coming in. Hopefully everybody that's tuning in checked out the prediction, the speed round of predictions, the video put up, and just gotta get to the show. So this is like I said, WarGames. This is the first WarGames of the 2.0 era, and kind of similar to the previous era. We kicked off with the women's WarGames match. Now, obviously, the women's WarGames matches, the other two have delivered. So the real concern going into this for me was just the lack of animosity and kind of how this just felt like, well, it's the end of the year, so we kind of got to do WarGames. Kind of like how on the main roster, how they treat Hell in a Cell. It's like, well, it's on the schedule, so we got to do it type deal. Versus it being this blood feud or a series of blood feuds, and we just, okay, this is the culmination of all that. But that's how they used to do WarGames.
Well,
anyway.
WarGames is kind of becoming, I think this is the thing I've seen the most, is WarGames. Because I go back to WarGames with NWA, WCW, and even with NXT. I think this is like the third one I've seen.
Yeah.
Of WarGames.
They started WarGames in 2017. So it's been on 4 years.
So this would be, so I can kind of get a grading of different kind of WarGames that I've seen.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the women's WarGames match, you got Raquel Gonzalez, Io Shirai, Kaylee Ray, and Cora Jade versus Team Toxic, Mandy Rose, Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, and Dakota Kai. I actually had a good time with this for the most part. I like the beginning that Dakota Kai and it was Dakota Kai.
Wasn't it
Oh, and Kaylee Ray.
Kayla?
They kicked it off. I mean, Kaylee Ray had the bat, and Dakota Kai had those kendo sticks, and there was that spot where they used the partition with the 3 kendo sticks. That was great. I enjoyed those two. Those two had some great chemistry. I think they would have a pretty decent one-on-one feud. Obviously, getting to the meat and potatoes of the match and the fray. Let's see, the spot of the match. I think that everybody's gonna be talking about. Just get right to it. Cora Jade on the top of the cage does a moonsault off the top of the cage through a table. I want to say JC Jane and hurt her shoulder. Now, initially, I'm like, oh damn, god damn, they done fucked up. All right, now she looked like she was legitimately hurt because the other wrestlers stopped what they were doing and they were looking like, well, what do we do? You know, and it's just like, oh god, okay. Here's the inexperience showing right here. And for a while, for like 5 minutes, I was like, okay, she must legitimately be hurt. The doctors are out trying to get her out the ring. And then when Io Shirai came over and was like, no, I got this. Don't worry about it. And she tried to set her shoulder. I was like, okay.
You went Mr. Miyagi.
All right. And then it just looked awful. I mean, the execution on that was terrible. But there was a whole lot of other action that kind of made up for that one part of the match. Especially that double drop kick with the steel chair to Gonzalez, that was sick.
That was something. God
damn.
That's where she got busted open. That's where she got busted open.
How did you get up from there? Jesus. Of course, it's Gonzalez with the big, her one-arm power bomb. During the match, the story was Cora and her shoulder, and then, she was trying to compete. There's a whole laundry list of other action that happened in the match, but after that one-arm power bomb, Cora comes over, she pins JC Jane, and Team Raquel wins. I don't know if she's really hurt or not, but it looked like a work at a certain point. I'm gonna go with this a work. It did take away because it was like they paid so much attention to that damn shoulder, and it was just like, this wouldn't have happened in the old days. She would have been hurt. You take her out. If she's all right, she'll come back to the match. I don't know. At the end of the day, though, I still am going to give this low pay-per-view worthy because I did think the work overall was there. There was some hard-hitting spots. The ladies didn't look nervous. I did like how, Mandy Rose, I was curious, chair shots. Is it going to have that sound? Because there's times where you've seen them, chair shots was like, yeah. Yeah. No, she laid it in. Okay, all right, cool. And there wasn't really a lot. I didn't really see any botches, so to speak. Maybe not. Maybe I missed them. I don't know.
You did. But
I thought the match was fun. And I like that they didn't do the whole, how sometimes when there's two of the same type of match, like 2 Hell in Cells, 2 WarGames matches, only one match will get kendo sticks and tables and chairs. No, they did it for both of them tonight. And I thought that was a wise decision. So, and it helped a lot. So, low pay-per-view worthy.
This was middle of the road. The botches, they were there. There was several times moves got missed. And I'm sorry, but the one that was the worst, that stuck out the most, is the one whose shirt you're wearing. Mandy Rose went and did that knee while 2 people were holding. I can't remember who they were holding. If you look at the angle, she completely missed the target. Totally missed the target.
Oh,
I mean, she
man.
was way off. And it was bad enough when I saw them do that happen live. But when they went and reviewed the match, they showed it again. And I'm like, don't show that. She completely missed. So Mandy is still a shit wrestler. Have I seen some improvement? Yeah, a little bit here and there. But she is still a Diva era wrestler. She can climb out of it, but she still ain't there yet. As far as the rest of this match, I want to like Gonzalez. I want to like her, but she's so stiff and she just doesn't have it. I mean, she's got the right kind of a gimmick that if she had it all, she'd be on the main roster by now. She'd be there.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have it all, which is why she's not there. I'm probably going to say her name wrong, and I do apologize. You'll correct me. Shirai. I like her.
Oh,
I like her.
Oh yeah,
I like her.
Yeah.
She was about she and Dakota Kai to me were two of the talents in that ring.
The
And
workhorses, yeah.
And I like Gigi. I like her for some odd reason. She seems, I can see a future definitely in her and the gimmick and everything that she's doing.
She has a charisma about her.
Yeah, the rest of them, blah. And of course, let's just get to the shoulder. That was such a work. And it was a bad work because it just went on and on and on and on and on. I'm like, if her shoulder had really separated, we've seen accidental serious injuries occur.
Yeah.
They don't show the wrestler. They're just gone. It happens, the camera pans, and the next thing you know, they're just nowhere to be found. They're gone. So as soon as I saw she's still there, I'm like, okay, this has got to be a work. And then Mrs. Miyagi popping a shoulder. It's like, no, now this is just dumb. So they lost me when they kept dragging it. So unfortunately, this had to be middle of the road. It just lost me. The talent was there, but they just couldn't put it all together.
I can't even argue, because this was definitely not up to the par of the previous two women's WarGames matches. This is definitely not that. All right, those other two are high quality. Matter of fact, the second women's WarGames match is probably top 3 WarGames matches like ever. I mean, they killed it. This, I like the potential. There's a lot of potential in the match, and like you said, the workhorses, Io Shirai, Dakota Kai, even though she has, she's just a slope. She's just flat back. She needs to change her gear because it just accentuates all the wrong areas. Like you said, Gigi Dolan. I mean, there's something there about her. Like her charisma is just there. Like she could easily get to the main roster quick.
She gets your attention.
She does.
She gets your attention with her eyes. She's looking around. She gets your attention.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I understand. I mean, this, like I said, it's to me low. I did enjoy it. It was still fun, but there's a lot to work on still.
I will say one thing that was funny though. When Dakota Kai got put into the trash can and Gonzalez spun around, that was hysterical.
That was different.
Because you don't usually see somebody completely fit in. Of course, of all of them, she and there's a couple of people that could completely. Yeah, there's a couple of people that would totally disappear. So that was hysterical. That was funny.
Yeah, I thought that. Yeah. I'd never seen that before, so that was different.
That was different.
After that, we had the NXT Tag Team Championship match, Imperium versus Kyle O'Reilly and Vaughn Wagner. Anytime you've got to follow a WarGames match, even if it's just middle of the road, it's tough sledding because a WarGames match is so long and you're asking a lot of the crowd participation, which was there. I mean, they were chanting a lot for that for the women. This started slow and picked up because Fabian Eichner said, "This is my match. All right, forget what y'all doing. I'm about to take over." And he was doing shit that I've never seen him do this type of stuff. Normally, he's kind of like the bully, and he wrestles just kind of straight up and doesn't really do all the he's never done this high flying type shit. But it works because he's a big guy, but he's also very lean. So he can pull it off. I mean, to walk the top rope like that, jumping on the rope and then turn directions and landing it. I mean, and then hit that moonsault out of nowhere. I mean, dude was all over this. He was all over this match once it just shifted gears. I don't know how else to explain it. Once he took over, and it revved it up for me. I was kind of at middle of the road when the match first started because there's also a lack of care factor because I think Kyle O'Reilly's on his way out, or at least I don't know anymore now based on how the post match went. But yeah, I really enjoyed how this match ended. There's a lot of near falls. There was a lot of good submission holds in the end, and like I said, Eichner really won me over. He really did. I mean, stole the match from everybody, snatched it. Kyle O'Reilly was an afterthought at the end of the day, and I hate to say that, but at the end of the day, outside the Undisputed Era, he hasn't really been much of anything, and it's kind of been exposed as you can wrestle, you could probably fight straight up, but you have zero charisma, and at the end of the day, you don't have a presence that is striking enough to capture my attention long enough. So, but Imperium retains. This match was great, in my opinion. You can make an argument it was the best match of the night. You could, as far as in-ring bell to bell. But yeah, I again, pay-per-view worthy for me. Not high, not low, just straight up pay-per-view worthy.
I gave this pay-per-view worthy as well. I do think this was the match of the night. And everything you said about Kyle O'Reilly is dead spot on. The guy can do it in the ring. There's just no doubts on that. He's got the in-ring ability. But that's it. Unfortunately, the camera isn't just watching you wrestle. We have to feel you, see you, hear you. And that's where he has a problem. He needs to talk to Gigi. Gigi has got that part down. So he needs to have a little word with how she does it because he just cannot do it. He can't project himself. And that's a shame because he definitely has the stuff to be a star talent in wrestling, but he can't project himself. So you kind of wonder if he'll be just a mid-card wrestler or he'll be stuck in NXT or he'll just be shown the door. But this Imperium, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, him.
Yeah,
him.
He earned MVP status.
Yeah.
The biggest paycheck needs to go to this gentleman right there.
Yeah. He killed it.
He stole the show. I don't know if somebody in the back said, hey, the women's match didn't quite work. We need y'all to do it for us here because we're not starting off as well as we thought we would. And he took it upon himself to say, hey, I got this. Because, damn it, he was a tour de force in this damn thing. I mean, they were making it look like he was a powerhouse, which we definitely saw that. Mm-hmm. But he's jumping around, but he's flying around. I mean, that when he jumped to the top and then leaped onto the outside, I'm like, that was perfect. He nailed that perfectly, and he got a lot of air. Mm-hmm. I mean, he got a lot of air. That was about as perfect as you could ever do that. Superfly Jimmy Snuka would look at that and say, that's how you do that. So this was an impressive tag match. It got slow, definitely at the beginning, but once it picked up, it picked up. Von Wagner, who cares? I mean, he's good with what he does, and I guess they're going to do this feud with him and Kyle, but in the end of the day, probably it's not going to generate any money. Nobody's going to care. It should be a one match thing and be done, and that'll be it for that. And I feel bad for Kyle O'Reilly because I do want to like him because I do see the talent there, but there's just something about him that he cannot connect to you. And in the 80s, you can get away with that. You cannot get away with that now. So match was damn good. MVP status goes to him. I like Imperium. I like them.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
I like them.
They won.
I like them. They know what to do in that ring. Yeah. At this point, I would
too, though.
Oh yeah, I love the gimmick. I think NXT UK is so much better. It's so much better. And that's a shame to say it, but it really is so much better. It's getting to a point where I might want to just start watching that instead of this.
I'm almost there. I do have people in NXT UK that I do like. I like there's an Irish faction over there that I really like. I like the Ilya Dragunov. He's a great champion.
Oh yeah.
I mean, myself and Rob have reviewed all their takeovers. So, I mean, they do some work over there. That's all I got to say.
Oh yeah, it's different. It's different style wrestling than American wrestling. But it's better than. I'm sorry, it's better right now than what NXT USA is, or 2.0.
Yeah.
Dumb. But pay-per-view worthy. This was a very good match. Match of the night.
All right. After that, we had the hair versus hair match. Cameron Grimes versus Duke Hudson. Now, anytime you hear hair versus hair, the match itself, bell to bell, doesn't really matter. All you care about is who's going to win. Now, I will say this. These two didn't phone it in by any means. I think that it just didn't matter. Because at the end of the day, you just want to see who's going to get the head shake. At the end of the day, who's going to get it. And I know that you, me, and Doc picked Grimes, and Rob and Blake picked Hudson. I just couldn't see them shaving Cameron. No. It's his character. You can't get rid of it. You're not going to change him.
No, that's something he'll do when he switches and becomes a heel.
Yeah, I mean, so Hudson, it had to happen. Like I said, the match itself, if I'm grading the match, middle of the road. Just that's all it could possibly be. It was a raw quality match, maybe a move here or there that was pretty good. But at the end of the day, all you cared about was the end, and the end was kind of out of nowhere. Pulling of the trunks. Okay, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. And then they shortchange you because he's supposed to get his head shaved, and all they do is 2 to 3 little strokes back with the clippers, and that's it. That's all we got, the last few times they've done hair versus hair, the person wasn't bald. They got a buzz cut. And then 3 weeks later, their hair was right back to where it was before they even cut it off. So it's just like these hair versus hair matches. In the 90s, early 2000s, the last and the only, no, I shouldn't say the only. There's been 2 hair versus hair matches that I've cared about. The one that Molly Holly lost and the one that Vince McMahon lost.
Oh, jeez.
But those were the only 2. And the only reason that Vince McMahon was funny because Stone Cold shaved his head. That's it. So
and Vince had that.
Yeah.
He had the point he had.
That shark head, that LL Cool J head. But yeah, other than that, I mean, these hair versus hair, I mean, that's a stipulation that needs to just die. So, but I will still give it middle of the road. Right person won. Move on.
Oh, come on. This was some bullshit. These hair versus hair matches are ridiculous. I've seen too many of them. This is quintessential heel shit. They're gonna lose. They're just gonna lose. It's really rare that a face loses this. It has happened, but it's so rare. And usually all you have to do is look at the people. Who's going to get their head shaved?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Cameron, that's too much hair. It's part of his gimmick. Unless you turn him heel, they're not going to do it. Now, Duke, who's practically near close to bald anyway. So it's not that big a deal. And all they did was give him a trim in the middle, so he'll have just a buzz cut essentially when we see him next. You knew it was you could tell a mile away where this was going. So I was kind of shocked that the other gentleman picked Duke because I was like, come on, y'all, it's so obvious who's gonna win this.
Yeah, seriously.
The crowd, they did a chant Dookie Hudson or something. I'm like, is that the best smack you have, Dookie? Mm-hmm. I mean, one more thing about this crowd. I'm sorry. This is awesome chant. Stop. Just stop it. You have ruined that chant. That is becoming the what chant because you say it for every match. And I hate to break it to you. Every match ain't awesome. It'd be nice if it was, because that means companies are making a lot of money, but not every match is awesome. And they did it with every single match. They were not all awesome. Cameron Grimes, the right guy, won, but in the end of the day, who gives a shit? Who cares? I mean, this is not a match that you're gonna think about. This is not a match that Cameron Grimes 20 years down the road will remember. Oh, I remember that match I had against Duke Hudson when I tried to shave his head and I just kind of cut it down the middle. This was bullshit. And this is this is Vince. This is Vince jerking off in front of all of us. This was dumb.
God. Well, yeah. I like Cameron Grimes. I think he'll do well on the main roster because he's got all the, he's got the to the moon. He's got the charisma. He can wrestle. So I don't foresee him being in NXT very much longer. I could see him actually being a
NXT
surprise.
champion.
No, surprise cameo in the Royal Rumble. I don't think he's gonna be NXT champion. Hell no.
Why not?
No.
Why not?
Like I said,
I'm not saying he has to have a long reign, but it'd be funny.
Like I said, Royal Rumble cameo, and then you bring him up. That's it.
That I could see, but I doubt it'll be this year.
I could see it being this year. He would get a good pop. I think he would really get a good pop. We get the to the moon. Oh man. Okay. Now. There's not normally back in the day, in the black and gold days, NXT Takeover was like 5-star, at the very least 3-star matches, top to bottom. You were getting quality top to bottom, no matter what. And there was care taken into the feud. Roderick Strong versus Joe Gacy, and congratulations, you are the by far worst match of the night. And I feel so bad for Roderick Strong because I believe in him. I think he's a fantastic wrestler. He's a backbreaker specialist. The faction has gotten better. I know you and we're on the same page. We don't really care for Malcolm Bivens, so to speak, but they had Ivy Nile, which was really smart. But when I look at this faction, and Rob's not here, so it looks like the special ed class at school when they show up. I'm sorry. Malcolm Bivens is driving the bus.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
we're off the rails.
the Creed brothers with them and shit, like it's just bad.
Just go ahead.
Everything about this was fucking bad. I don't care. Joe Gacy, you're not the voice of the people. You're not trying to, it's the Cruiserweight Championship. It's not fair because I'm not 205 pounds. Well, bitch, lose some weight if that's the fucking belt you want, okay? There's other belts to have. This is just for the people that are 205 pounds and under. So to say that you're speaking, for us, no, you're not. No, you're not. Get your ass in there. You don't even look like a wrestler. If I saw you on the street, I think you're an IT guy. So there was zero redeeming qualities with this match. It was short. Roddy got the win. I got the prediction right. I'm sorry. There's just not enough to do, and it's on a takeover. I have higher standards for takeover matches. Go fuck yourself.
Oh! Well, I can't argue with anything you said, which is why I can't argue with
to go get.
No. It was a different reason. It was a different reason. I already had this over here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can't argue with you. I cannot argue with you.
Knock it back. Yeah. Mm-mm.
Ladies and gentlemen, say it with me, say it loud, say it proud. This was a flaming fucking F. Nobody cared about this match. I think in the predictions video, I think this is where good brother Blake said, "Who cares?"
Yeah.
And you're right.
His face said it all.
And he's right. Who cares? Roderick Strong? Who cares? Joe Gacy, probably the worst gimmick, one of the worst gimmicks there. It's pointless. You're nothing but a poor man, Seth Rollins, who does this a lot better than you. Nobody cares. I'll give him one credit, the crazy face he has. At least it makes me laugh when he does that. It just makes me laugh because it's so dumb, but it makes me laugh. I mean, yeah, you're big and Kevin Owens is big, but he does everything better than you. You this was just so why was this match even signed? Nobody cared. And then we have to put up with, again, sorry, then I have to put up with that stupid little nigga showing up, talking and screaming on the outside. I mean, this was torture.
You see him at the end of the match?
Yes. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, what did you just take a shot or something? What the heck was that? Did just somebody shoot you with some adrenaline?
Nah, if he had that face at the end of an Ivy Nile match, I wouldn't say nothing.
We don't need to have his face anywhere on a television.
No.
Go away. Talk to MVP, who does this a lot better than you.
He is a fake ass. That's exactly what it is. He's a fake ass MVP. MVP doesn't even have to talk sometimes. He just is there, He's just there.
Chilling. He's trying to be also like, for old school fans, you're not even the doctor of style, slick.
Oh, no.
You're not even slick, brother. Go away. Just go away and take your Mickey Mouse tour group with you, because they're all just go away. This was a fucking F. This was worthless and pathetic, and I want my time back.
I'm just curious how old Malcolm Bivens is, because if he's anywhere near MVP's age. They need to talk because.
Well, they already need to talk. I mean, MVP. I mean, I can imagine MVP watching and saying, "What the hell is that nigga doing?"
Well, there's leagues of experience. There's an experience gap. I mean, MVP's traveled the world. I don't know where this Malcolm Bivens dude came from.
Well, with MVP, he was a wrestler, just mid-card wrestler. I liked him back in the day, but
Right.
you never thought he'd be like a manager. But he just flowed into it so perfectly.
Oh yeah,
Just flowed into it. It was a perfect fit for him. He's natural at it. This guy needs to be taught badly.
But you could tell with MVP, he's just being an extension of himself. With Malcolm, it's like he's given a script and he's just told to be extra and loud. Be that loud black person we see on the news. Be that. No, dude, just be an extension of yourself. Chill, cool out. Like it's the one thing I know I get on him a lot, but the one thing I would say about Jake Snake Roberts, he never had to yell in a promo. And it's proof that you do not have to yell.
Nope.
And that's all he does is yell in a microphone. Dude, it's a microphone. You do not have to yell. It's a microphone.
Yep. He reminds me of a certain other little manager in AEW. Think you know who I'm talking about?
Well, there's a few.
Oh, there's really only one. And we saw him in his first match wearing a singlet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what he reminds me of.
Let's just keep on NXT.
Let's
the
white chocolate of managers. Those two.
Let's get to the main event here. The men's WarGames match, Team Black and Gold, who I was representing. Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Pete Dunne, and LA Knight versus Team 2.0, Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Tony D'Angelo, and Grayson Waller. This was actually, to me, I thought this was the best match of the night just because of all the spots, and I thought it was clean. It was done well. I mean, you got a lot of experience on the Black and Gold side, and for Carmelo Hayes to start the match and go bell to bell, I thought that's impressive because that tells me you have your cardio down. And he didn't look gassed at any point in time in the match. And so hats off to that brother for that because that's the big deal. Grayson Waller, I hate the gimmick. It's dumb as hell.
It's dumb.
You wearing boxing trunks in a wrestling ring, wearing AJ Styles gloves. I don't understand it. But
they're Nike gloves, evidently.
But he did have some cool spots in the match. 2 table spots. These damn tables. I've never seen more gig tables in my entire life. These tables
exploded. They exploded. It must have been made from the same material as the roof. The limo's roof in No Holds Barred because it just exploded.
Like, which we had to talk about something else after this match, but we'll go back to that in a minute.
Oh, I'm afraid. I know.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So that I thought Braun Breaker was fantastic. He is actually, I mean, as far as 2.0 goes, he's their only hope as far as the men are concerned. Toxic Attraction kind of got it for the women.
There's a couple of other people.
But to me, Braun Breaker, as far as like breakout, I shouldn't say the only hope because
he's not the only, but he's obviously the one that they're pushing.
They're pushing him, but it makes sense to push him as well. His heritage, he's got the look, he's got the confidence. Obviously, he can go. I thought the match with Tommaso Ciampa was great. But it seems like with him, this is like the first match he didn't have a misstep. But the match with Ciampa, there was just one thing he messed up on. I'm not going to kill him for that. But this match, he was on point. I still don't like his finisher because I've seen it as just because I've seen it, as a regular, move in a match. I've seen numerous people use that move. Big guys. It's a big guy move, Gorilla Plex Slam. It's just never. I shouldn't say never, but I just don't. I can't buy it as that's what's going to take you out. Now, could it eventually get over? Yes, because
any move will get over.
Because Braun Strowman got over a running power slam, and that's the same thing too. But you got to think about it. It's Braun Strowman. The guy's almost 400 pounds, if not 400 pounds, 6 foot
of muscle,
6'8", 6'9". So yeah, you could buy the fact that if he's dropping all that weight on you, yeah,
it's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt. And if a guy like Braun Breaker, who's bigger than his pops, even
he's thick,
yeah, doing a gorilla press slam, Goldberg-esque. I think that, it's just gonna, as long as they put it over, and people don't kick out of it, it'll work. You know what I mean? But this was a real hard hitting match. I liked everything, man. Pete Dunne with the fingers. I tell Rob this all the time. Yeah, the finger stuff. Yeah.
I mean,
and putting Grayson Waller's hand in the cage and bending.
Yeah, that gave me the heebie-jeebies. That was not right.
And that's the thing with the Pete Dunne match. Is every time you just waiting when he's gonna get them fingers, and he always does. Always does.
How does he not break a finger?
The end spot with Ciampa going for a fairy tale ending, and then Braun Breaker spearing both of them through the table, and then getting the win. I thought this was really good. I liked it a lot. I liked LA Knight throwing Grayson Waller off the top of the cage, and again the table exploded, but it is what it is. It was a fun match. Again, pay-per-view worthy, regular pay-per-view worthy. Nothing on this card really obviously was groundbreaking, was anything above pay-per-view worthy. When we say pay-per-view worthy, that means it's just that. It's something you would like to see on a pay-per-view. But when I watch a pay-per-view, I want to see something superb. I want to see an instant classic somewhere along the lines. And didn't get any of that, unfortunately. But that just kind of makes this average wrestling show. I mean, it was better than some of the main roster shows this year, but
that's not saying a lot.
It's not. But I'm gonna give it a break because they are in a transition phase, and I see. Well, it's tough for me to say I see potential in a lot because I'm also worried. Like every person that I've gotten attached to in the last year no longer works for the company. So how am I supposed to, as a fan of WWE, get attached to these people when I know that at any moment in time they can say, "You're out"? And it's just like, because I as a wrestling fan, it is our duty to transition as talent transitions. You have to go with
to do it.
You can't stay. I can't be, 1998 watching, still talking about NWO. We can't be doing that. So,
well, they tried.
And I learned to like the Brock Lesnar's, the Batistas. I still like the big guys. I've learned to like the smaller guys too because they can wrestle. But I will go with whatever you put out as long as it's good. My problem is when I start to like Karrion Kross and the gimmick with him and Charlotte, and then
they butchered him,
and then the way I treat him, Keith Lee, a super heavyweight that moves like a cruiserweight, and he gone. Okay, all right, well, all right. And then you got the nerve to do WrestleMania on 2 nights? Who's left to give you 2 nights of wrestling?
When you keep firing everybody.
But anyway, I'm getting long in the tooth with my review. So, yes.
Hey, man, go for it, man. Preach. I give it pay-per-view worthy. but kind of in that middle or low pay-per-view worthy. When you're the main event, I expect you to be the best match of the night. So my grading, my expectations are a lot higher. Whether that's fair or not, your call. But you put it at the main event. So I should expect it to be the best match. What made the tag team title match better is I wasn't thinking that would be the best match of the night. So I got the surprise element. It came out of nowhere. It snuck through the back door and became best match of the night, which that happens a lot. Usually the main event doesn't tend to be the best match of the night anymore. It tends to be something that came before.
Mm-hmm.
This match, I'm not saying it was bad. It wasn't that it was bad. It's just Grayson Waller. I don't know who he is. I just know he looks stupid.
Yeah.
Tony
D'Angelo.
Like?
Did you ever play Ready to Rumble boxing?
Oh God, I know who you're thinking. I know who you're thinking.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't think of that, but you're totally right. That's exactly who he looks like.
Yeah.
That's exactly who he looks like.
Yeah.
Oh wow, now I'm not going to be able to look at him the same again. Tony D'Angelo, that is ridiculous. I mean, Tony D'Angelo is ridiculous. Carmelo Hayes, obviously, brother got a future. Definitely, he has a future. Yeah. I wish you'd get rid of a brother.
You gotta get rid of Trick. You gotta get rid of
Trick. I mean, that's just you gotta get rid of him, man. It's just I don't even want to say his name. I mean, any brother named Trick, I already got a problem with you. I'm sorry. Braun Breaker, as I kind of sneakily call him, I call him Beaker because I just hate that dumb name. It's such a stupid 80s name. It's dumb.
Especially when you know who his pops is. Like,
just give him his name. Call him Steiner. Just give him his name. We can see who he's related. Just do it. Braun Breaker is that is Vince. Vince thought that one up. You could tell it. That is a Vince name.
His real name is Bronson, so I get that, but
Braun Steiner.
Yeah.
Braun Steiner sounds
He's
just
already
fine.
Barking, so it's not like we don't know.
Yeah, they're barking. Even without the barking, you look at his face.
Oh yeah,
look at his face. He's a Steiner. So just get rid of the Beaker thing. It's so dumb. LA Knight. It was kind of hard watching LA Knight. The way he was moving around and how animated he was being. It was almost like he was impersonating Stone Cold. Every time I saw him, he was kind of doing like he was trying to act like Stone Cold. So it was kind of weird. And the whole time I'm like waiting for him to do something because I just don't trust him. I just didn't trust him. So I'm like, when is he going to turn? And I was kind of wondering, why are you in this match? That's the team black and gold representative you chose? I mean, I know Kyle O'Reilly may not be the most animated person in the world, but I would have put him in this match over LA Knight. Pete Dunne, I like the bruiserweight. I like that gimmick. That is
his only thing that's gonna hurt him is his height.
His height is definitely a problem. But
we've seen guys. He got ripped.
We've seen small guys do this. I mean, the quintessential small man is Shawn Michaels. And if that guy can do it, any small guy can do
5'11".
He is, but it can happen. Johnny Gargano, obviously that was a sentimental favorite for a lot of people.
I met Johnny Gargano.
He was a sentimental, and he did okay in this match. I would have liked to have seen a little more, but he did have a good showing. And Tommaso Ciampa, I don't want to call him God of War. You know, I'm not going to do that. But I like Ciampa. He did a good showing. And this obviously is going to build for the eventual rematch between Beaker and Ciampa. But the match was okay. It was a good match. It just didn't hold it to me like the tag match.
Action movies today. Stuff blows up. I'm not impressed. It's cool, You can make it look as real as possible. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. It's just not groundbreaking. You didn't do anything groundbreaking. You didn't do anything we haven't seen. It's kind of like the problem that we've all talked about with Hell in a Cell. It's just hard to pull one off.
It's rough.
That's groundbreaking. And you know how you get around that though? There has to be the storytelling. There has to be a blood feud, like with Bailey and Sasha.
Oh, that's one of the best Hell in a Cell matches of all time.
That match was so good because you couldn't wait for it to happen. So when we finally got it and they delivered on it, we were happy. We were, I mean, it's one of the few times in history that we wanted this feud. We got it. They gave us the Hell in a Cell, and the Hell in a Cell delivered.
They delivered.
I guess the only complaint we had was that we just wanted it to be like at WrestleMania. That's the only thing that could have made that better.
The arena made it. The placing would have been a better place.
Yeah. Other than that,
but that's small potatoes.
Yeah. We still got a fantastic match. And I don't know. I mean,
I wanted to like this. I wanted to like it more. I mean, it has a lot of things that should make it
so
the best match of the night.
It was by no means was this a shitty show. It was
absolutely not.
I just feel like there was a lot of tone it down, don't go, you don't have to go all out, you don't have to take any real risks.
Oh, they took some risks.
No.
But they weren't in the ring.
Not compared to back in the black and gold days. I'm telling you, you've got to go back and watch the Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa feud. They were trying to kill each other. That's not me exaggerating. They were trying to kill each other. I trust. That's all I'm saying. It's night and day. It's not even close. This Mickey Mouse Pride Parade bullshit they got going on now.
Come on, man. Don't do that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
I can't do this PG version of NXT. Can't. It's there's some potential. Braun Breaker's coming up. I think Ivy Nile is going to be a big deal.
Carmelo Hayes,
figuratively, because she's really small. Carmelo Hayes is going to be great. He actually could almost fit on the main roster. Don't go too quick. Don't go too quick because
go too quick. No, give him some time to
already
build him up.
Already fired them other niggas.
Skid Row
is gone. But it made no sense. You called him up just to let him go. I just let me go from here. But anyway, what did you all think of the show? Did you enjoy the show? Do you agree with our grades? Do you disagree? Let us know in the comment section. Thank you all for listening and watching.
Oh,
and
hey, you said you were something. Oh, later you said there was something. I mean, got to do it. I know what you're thinking, and it's got to be said because it was bad. At least I'm pretty sure I know what you're thinking. It can only be one thing.
It's there was a running theme tonight. It's NXT 2.0. They're trying, and they're smart for doing this. I will give them that. They got a lot of video packages to let us know. Yeah, vignettes. Let us know who's coming, who you can look forward to seeing on Tuesdays, which is smart. So that when I finally do see them, I can, I saw them in the package. Okay, cool. No problem. Till we get to certain wrestler of Asian descent who had 2 or 3 promos tonight. Just saying.
I'm going to put this up here for this.
Why are we shoving this guy down? I don't know. All I could think about was hearing them talk. All I could hear was the Nemodians from episode 1, The Phantom Menace, how they talked. Like, we don't want so that's how he talks. pretty much he was promoting some type of food delivery service.
Did food delivery, yeah.
And he ate too much of, I guess, something didn't agree with him. And yeah, right back at No Holds Bar with a Dookie scene, and he is straight fire shitting on the toilet, and the sound effects, everything. I mean, all of it, everything.
No Holds Barred was funny. This was not funny. This was just not right.
My jaw was on the floor.
This wasn't right.
Because I didn't know where they were going with this. He was like, "I'll be right back," and
I knew where he was going. He's going to the bathroom. I knew exactly what he was doing. I turned
my head, and I heard it first, and then I looked. I said, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Toilet humor.
That's Vince. That is Vince. You know it's Vince. Vince was in the back, probably rolling. He was dying.
And not just, it wasn't enough. We could see, pants down, ankles. And no, he was. You heard shitting.
You heard it drop. You actually hear it drop. No Holds Barred didn't go that far with it.
Yes, they did.
Not quite like this.
Yeah.
Because that was the sound was a lot louder with No Holds Barred.
Go back and watch Bubba when they in the toilet pissing.
The sound effects are louder in No Holds Barred than they were in this.
They were there. Not believe I could buy it with No Holds Barred because that was the scene.
It's a movie.
This was out of the fucking blue, and I'm just looking at my TV like, are you fucking kidding me? You've got to be bullshitting.
Hey, this is Vince. I remember when they did the same thing with Big Show.
I can't wait to watch this.
Oh, that'll be the first thing he'll talk about.
He's gonna like, are you serious?
That'll be the first thing he'll talk about is the toilet stuff. Yeah, NXT. I mean, I got into this late, but even for me, this is not the same product.
No,
it's just not. This would not have existed there. It just wouldn't have.
I mean, you've told us that you've seen some of the old shows.
I've seen a couple things, yeah.
And the other difference is that while the TV show would be shot at a small arena like this one, when there was a takeover, they would go to a full-size arena. That's what made Takeover special, because it was at a normal arena. They still blacked out the crowd and everything. Yeah, all that, but it was louder. And I don't understand why they don't do it. They would travel so you could get Takeover was here. So myself and Rob have been to 2 takeovers, one in Phoenix, one here. And I mean, it's just not the same. But I guess if you want to go to Orlando and go to Takeover, you can. But who wants to do that?
No, not for this.
NXT 2.0, the Skittles edition.
And the last one with Beth Phoenix.
Yeah, I don't know how this is going to sound Tuesday without her. She, it's very rare that, and we have very few females announcing these days that
she was good at it,
are not only doing it but good at it. She was a fantastic wrestler. I mean, this is Edge's wife. I mean, I get it. They also have 2 young kids, and
she wants to be at home.
Edge is away and she's away. The kids are kind of like, so when are we supposed to see y'all? So I get it. Being a mom is hard. My wife, she said it's different with women. I guess men are just by naturally just kind of, we go with the steps of life, and women, they're just, I want to hold on. I don't want to let you go. Like, my mom had a hard time letting me go, but I'm like, well, I got to be a man. I got to go live life.
That's what Seth and Becky are doing.
The baby travels with them.
I saw the picture that Becky posted recently.
The baby travels with them.
Baby travels with him.
The longest she was apart from their baby was 24 hours, and she said it was the most painful 24 hours ever. So Yeah. It is what it is. So like I was saying, thank you all. Let us know in the comment section below what you think of the show. And make sure you also give some love to MJ Books Podcast, the Countdown Podcast. Myself, Rob, Blake, Doc, all been on the show. And we're all going to be on the show. I'm going to be on the show pretty soon. We're going to do another countdown together. And
just recently posted an episode.
Oh yeah, you and Rob doing the guilty pleasures, and you inspired us to do one as well. So make sure you check them out on all your favorite podcast platforms and special episodes on YouTube. We still have one kind of a mutual one. The worst
Worst finishing moves?
Worst finishers. That's what it is.
Just because I'm looking at my pictures.
Worst
finishing moves.
Yes.
That's for your show.
Yes, that's the one. I'm like, God damn it, I know we have one. I know I made a list.
Worst finishers.
We just haven't
worst.
to it. Yeah.
Yes, worst finishers.
Okay. All right. It was gonna bother me, that's all.
Because I'm looking at my pictures, and every time I'm on my PC, I see all the pictures saved, and I'm like, damn it, I want to delete these. They're taking up space.
Thank you all for watching, listening. We appreciate you all. Get vaccinated so we can get back to the live events without wearing a mask, because we had to wear one the whole time last time, and it was not fun. So again, we appreciate y'all. Take care. Take care of your family and loved ones, and we'll catch you all next time.